So welcome to episode 3 of the COPRCHATS podcast. I'm sat here beside Dublin YouTuber, fitness influencer, and all-round legend.
All right, great guy. Thanks so much for having me on. I'm blown away by the setup, the professionalism, and I'd expect nothing less from one of the Dublin videography goats. So, very impressive.
Thank you very much. So obviously, we're going to go through an awful lot today. We have got the quick fire questions with COPRCHATS. Again, thanks a million, lads, for the sponsorship. And we've also got the Instagram deep dive. Now, when I say I did a deep dive, I was hitting posts in 2015, 2014.
Oh, that wasn't in the brief you sent me. Oh my God.
But don't worry, it's nothing too major. You'll be happy about the images I picked, I hope anyway.
Okay.
But I just want to get started with, your early days when it came to YouTube, because you are known to me anyway as one of the biggest to have ever come out of Ireland and one of the most successful to have ever come out of Ireland on YouTube, which is just mind blowing. If you don't know, it's extremely hard to grow on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we will touch on whether it's even viable to start a channel nowadays later on in the podcast. But what age were you when you started on YouTube?
So I was 22 years old and I uploaded my first video on September 1st, 2014.
That's ingrained in the brain.
Maybe I should get that tattooed or something. Some people get the birth of their child. I get when I started my first YouTube video.
Yeah.
But so before that, I was on Facebook. And then before that, I was just working various jobs. But I always just had the biggest passion and still do for fitness, training and nutrition. And so I was working these various jobs. I was failing college. My heart was never in it. Yeah. And then one day I started the Facebook page.
Right.
And I had a heart attack when I did my first post. I was treating it as a blog.
Yeah.
I did a really long, detailed post about, I think it was about macronutrients and nutrition in general. And I was like, oh my God, people are going to just slag me off so much, especially in Dublin.
Yeah.
And people were in Dublin like, what is Rob doing? What is Rob doing thinking he's, God's gift to fitness?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then so that was the first thing, and I kept doing posts, like kind of like writing articles. They were really long posts on Facebook. And then I said, I want to show more of my personality. You can obviously cover a lot more detail when speaking to a camera rather than typing. And so I said I'd make my first ever video. Right. And looking back on it now, the video is still there and it's very sacred to me and it's really dear to my heart, looking back at where it all started and how just doing that one video has led me to what can only be described as an epic adventure, a global epic adventure. Like, it's brought me to every corner of the world. It's got me to meet people that I look up to. It's got me to become friends with those people I look up to. It is nothing short of a movie. It's like Pain and Gain. It's a fitness movie. It's like if there was a movie about like some kid, some 22-year-old kid who wanted to like make it in the fitness industry. I'm like, that's what it was like. It's crazy. And so that first step is just so important to me, that first video. And so I started when I was 22, September 1st, 2014.
Jesus, that's mental. And like in fairness, the industry kind of was changing at that point from magazines and prints over to social media and YouTube and digital content. But I want to ask you, who were some of, as you mentioned, a few of your people you looked up to, who were a few of your earliest role models that were kind of pushing on YouTube that you would have, that's what I want to do, or that's who you'd looked at for inspiration or whatever? Who were they?
So funny what you said about magazines and everything. At the time, like maybe 2010 to around 2014 was like the peak in the fitness industry was to land a magazine cover.
Yeah.
That would be like the go-to. And then it transitioned to like the peak would be like having a really good YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. The fitness industry goes in eras.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, very TikTok-y and everything, but I still think YouTube is king, which we'll go on to later. But at the time, my idols, who are my friends now and acquaintances, people like Christian Guzman, watch Max Tuning, he's they're my best friends since the beginning. Steve Cook, his Big Man on Campus series, epic. The Hodge twins, Matt Ogus, and even like that kind of Gymshark era, like at the very beginning with like Jeff Side and all. Yeah. That was when I was like, oh my God, these guys, most of them from America, they're like making a full-time living from just making fitness content and coaching people and traveling the world, going to expos. I was like, no one in Ireland's doing this. And I can actually say this confidently. I was the first Irish fitness YouTuber.
Yeah.
No one else. There was no one else started it, probably because we're all afraid of being made fun of. And so I was like, I'm like what Irish companies sometimes do. You see what's working in America and you take it off. So I said, I'm going to do full day of eating videos, going to do training, walkthroughs, you know, everything. And so I would just watch all these American fitness YouTubers do it, like the ones I named. There's even more, like Scott Herman would be another OG.
Lex and stuff like that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he was, all that original Gymshark crew really inspired me to be like, all right, I'm going to be the first Irish person to do it.
Unbelievable. And I know you mentioned about the eating challenges and stuff. And I actually had a little look on your YouTube channel when I was doing a bit of research for the podcast. Your 10,000 calorie channel is your most watched video at 8.5 million views, which blows my mind. Like 8.5 million people clicked on your video to watch you eat food.
It's so crazy.
Amazing.
That's actually the 20,000 one.
Is it?
Has 8.5.
20,000.
There is a 10,000 one that has like a couple, I think like 2 or 3 million as well. But the 20,000 one, a very painful day for my stomach.
So much.
But yeah, super viral. And a little funny story that I don't often say about that. I remember this was like before I was making like, it was kind of like that was my first, it's obviously my most viewed video on YouTube, but that was my first, like one of my first really viral videos. And in that video and in the description box, I like plugged an ebook at the time. And the ebook is like €30. I was like, if you want to see how I really train and eat, you know, hit up this. And that was the first time I saw the power of a viral internet content. I remember the sales, I sold something like 1,000 ebooks just from that one video. So as a young guy just starting out on YouTube, I was like, this is life-changing, you know.
That is
nuts.
Because something like that, it would hit you and think, right, there's something to be made here.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, you know, you see a lot of people start off a YouTube channel and then 2 or 3 years later, it's just gone. They just don't have that passion, or, you know.
There's also a very interesting fact, and it's about podcasts, and it's 80% of podcasts don't upload more than 10 episodes.
Really?
Yeah, 80%. Then it's like, it goes even further. It's like, out of those 20% left, only 10% of those make it past episode 50. So simply by, and I would imagine the figures are the same for YouTube.
Yeah.
So simply by showing up and being consistent, you will rise to the top percentage.
It's
You don't
amazing.
have to be good. You don't have to be good. You just have to keep showing up.
That's it. But I always say that hard work and consistency beats talent every single day of the week.
Yeah. Yeah, like again, I am by no means the biggest in the fitness industry. I'm by no means the leanest, the strongest, the best looking, nothing. There's so much other guys that, you know, beat me in all those attributes, but I just kept showing up. I'm still showing up, and like this since 2014 because I love it. I don't need motivation to do it. Like I love making content like this. I love talking about YouTube. I love talking about training. I love talking about fitness. I'll burn the ear off you if you ask me a question about macros. So that's the advantage that I have over everyone else.
Yeah.
And if you're in a field that you're passionate about, that's a huge advantage because you're not going to mind showing up. So consistency is going to be so easy for you. You won't even have to think about it.
That's it. And I wanted to say, because we did talk about kind of the negativities, and especially in Dublin. So when you started out, obviously you would have been hit with a lot of negativity. I had Conor Ryan on last week, and I asked him the same question because I see I'm good friends with Conor, so I see a lot of the negativity that, and even from when I was posting the TikTok teasers and stuff like that of the podcast, there was a fierce amount of, there was so much negativity, I actually had to disable the comments.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like it's horrific what goes on.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with negativity?
So I've also been quite lucky compared to some other creators that I haven't got that much like compared to some.
Yeah.
Like some people, they just attract haters more than others. Like even like female YouTubers stuff can get really bitchy comments, and you know it really depends on the individual. So I've been very lucky that I have generally quite a positive audience. Like all the guys, my audience is 90% male audience. So it's all just dudes who want to get jacked and start a business and travel. So like they're not haters, you know, they're actually pretty cool, like outgoing people. So like they're all just like, yo, they're actually really supportive. So like they're like, look, great biceps, Rob, looking really good. At the beginning there was a lot of people from Dublin who would be like, what the hell are you doing? Like the actual stayed you. And so, but I just didn't mind because, well, I had no other option. I had nothing else to do. I was like, you can just say whatever you want. I don't have the choice to quit. I don't have the option. You know, I've no qualifications from college. I mean, great at personal training, all that. I've no degrees or anything to fall back on. I've no one to give me a job. I've no connections. This is all I'm doing. You know, so I'm like, you can just say whatever you want, and I'm not going to stop because I don't have the option. So that didn't really matter to me. Secondly, if someone is taking time out of their day to talk shit on an anonymous account, you just have to feel for that person. Their life isn't good. You know, if you show me a truly successful person, like killer shape, travels the world, makes loads of money, great with girls. If you show me one of them, they're hating on an anonymous account, I'll say, okay, fair play, but there's never is. Okay,
So you don't have the time.
No, you don't have the time when you're loving your life and living it. You're not like, let me just log on and slag off Conor Ryan and Rob for a little bit. You're just not doing it. So I have a bit of empathy there, and so that's the thing. One, I don't get too much. I've been very lucky. Two, I feel bad for anyone who does spend their precious moments hating on a stranger online. And three, you know, you just gotta roll with it. I have no other choice.
Happy days. Well, fair play to you. I mean, it is tough, but I do agree with you. You have to kind of think about, like, you almost have to switch the mindset, being like, how shit is their day that they actually wasted time to comment on your page from a fake profile that they've also spent time making.
I can hand on my heart to God above say I've never made an anonymous account and hated on someone online. That is, to me, it's embarrassing, hence why it's an anonymous account. If you're doing something you're proud of, something you tell your mom about or your parents about, you wouldn't be doing it anonymously.
Absolutely.
Like, you wouldn't be like, hey guys, hey parents, today I hope I made you proud. I called someone a wanker online and said some really mean things about their appearance and took time out of my day to do that on my fake account. You wouldn't tell anyone that because it's shameful.
It's a bit
sad. If you're not proud of doing it, you probably know deep down inside it's
not right. But before we jump into the meat of this podcast, because it is I have a feeling this is going to be a long one.
I'd give very drawn out answers. I like doing it.
We're going to cover an awful lot, because obviously you are probably one of very few guests I'll be able to get on to talk about these particular kind of topics that we have down. So we're going to jump into the quickfire questions with COPRCHATS.ie. So again, a massive thank you to COPRCHATS.ie for looking after us. You can see today it's a bit more of a step up in production. We now have 3 cameras. I have my own camera.
Made it.
That's it now. It's all about me. But we have got 3 cameras, and they were proudly supplied by COPRCHATS.ie. So again, thanks a million, guys.
And also, side note, way back in the day when, again, I was starting out on YouTube, COPRCHATS helped me out massively by lending me cameras when I was starting out. So it's so good to see them, you know, supporting you here today, and they're such a genuine company. So
they really are. And if you
COPRCHATS, if you'll sponsor me again, please, I'm right here.
We'll talk about that after the show.
They're awesome though.
They're brilliant, they are amazing. And that is one thing to say, if you are starting out and you don't want to throw the money, you don't have to spend 5 or 6 grand on a camera, that's lenses and mics and everything. Just go and rent it for the day and see how you get on.
Get a feel for it.
That's seriously. Because it mightn't suit you.
And they're I remember when I went in there, the people working there were super passionate about talking to me about different equipment. So I'm like, they're, again, passionate about what they do.
Absolutely.
So that's awesome.
No, they're brilliant. Right, so are you ready for these?
Let's go.
Right, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube?
YouTube.
Fitness, food, or travel video?
Food.
Story or reel?
Real.
Educational or entertainment?
Educational.
Favorite YouTube channel at the moment?
Oh, Andrew Huberman.
Personal or self-made content, or professional or self-made content?
Self-made.
That's it. Podcast or audiobook?
Podcast.
Sun or snow holiday?
Oh, sun. Oh my God.
You ever gone skiing?
I went skiing in March.
Did you?
Yeah, and like Chamonix.
Oh, that was with Louis and stuff.
Louis. Yeah, we loved it. But I just always sun for me.
Sun.
Yeah.
I can tell by the tan.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, the snow's draining my tan.
A person or brand you'd love to collab or work with?
That's a tough one.
That you haven't already.
yeah. I'm like, because like my dream one was Ghost for supplements, dream clothing for gym is Alphalete. There was actually a really, really good one. I guess it would be like Apple or Techno. Oh, actually, sorry, what am I saying? Sony.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so because I literally just bought a new Sony camera.
Yeah, you were saying.
And I'm there, they're talking about them all at length.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, probably Sony. Because I'm just went through my head. I'm like, what's the most recent thing I bought and that I love? The most recent big purchase. This is not a quick fire question. and it was the Sony camera.
Yeah.
Sony.
We will hit on kind of equipment that you're using for your podcast, just in case anyone, or podcast, YouTube channel, just in case anyone is looking to start their own. And then favorite YouTuber to collab with of all time.
Okay. I had one here. Oh, Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Are you with Joe Rogan?
No, that's who I'd love to.
You'd love to?
Yeah, that would be number one. And it's so funny. People say, oh, he's a podcaster and everything. YouTube's how I found him. YouTube's his videos still insane.
Yeah.
Definitely Joe Rogan. I think he's the GOAT all around.
His content's doing unbelievable across all platforms. Like you're seeing it on YouTube, you're seeing it on TikTok, you're seeing it even in shorts and reels and everything on Instagram.
Yeah, I think he's just brilliant.
And who was your favorite YouTuber that you did collab with?
Let me see. Every time I do a video with Christian, people always like it. And again, that's someone that I looked up to at the very beginning, and that I sleep on his couch now when I'm visiting Houston. We're good pals. But yeah, I always love collaborating with Christian.
Deadly. So that was the end of the quick fire questions with COPRCHATS.ie. Again, thanks a million for the cameras, lads. Definitely check them out at COPRCHATS.ie. So, Rob, as I mentioned earlier, I have done a deep dive.
Okay.
I've probably gone deeper on your channel, on your Instagram, than anyone else's.
Oh my God.
Because in fairness, I know I've followed your career for a good while. I've known you personally. So I wanted to actually, I knew what I was looking for.
Okay.
So don't be too alarmed.
No, give me a look. I'm ready. Like if I posted myself, you know.
Sometimes you do forget.
You're like, maybe you don't know. Yeah.
No, the first one I want to talk about is something that you actually brought up, or well, I brought it up first, and then we touched on it a little bit, and that is from, when was this? It's from a long time ago. Anyway, the date's gone.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
There we go.
So what was that day like? 'Cause, you know, I do photo shoots in here, but what's it like shooting for the cover of a massive fitness magazine?
Yeah. So funny enough, Evan Doherty shot that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, exactly.
Podcast ago.
Shout out, Ev. So I'll tell you, right? So the day I did that, I actually didn't come in lean enough as I would like to have been for that. Like I've definitely gotten leaner. Yeah. It was at like an awkward time of year. Like I think I just came back from traveling. So to kind of dry out and look a little bit leaner before that, I did like 4 or 5 really low carb days before it, which I usually like don't do. I usually recommend just having consistent intake and, you know, slowly getting lean, but sometimes you don't have enough time and this is work. Yeah. And so I was like, all right, I've got to, you know, dry out a little bit, drop the calories, add an extra cardio and just, you know, lean up a little bit. So I still didn't come in as lean as I would have liked to for that, but it really doesn't matter. A lot of the time, you know, magazine covers nowadays, they actually don't even want that super peeled, the super peeled competition look. They actually want like the beach body look. Yeah. So, you know, it went down really well. They were really happy with it. And I look back at that, very fond memories. Shot it in Raw Gym, of course. Yeah. And so Raw Gym has such a special place for me because that's where first proper gym I joined, where I've done countless YouTube videos. I'm gonna go there after this. And yes, so I'm in the gym gear. And so just to be like, you know, that's where I started my YouTube journey. And then I took a moment when we're shooting for the cover of Muscle and Fitness. Yeah. I took a moment and I was just like, my God, like if you told me when I walked into that gym for the first time that over in that corner over there, you'd be doing a shoot for a magazine. Again, gym dream. It's a gym movie. You know, it's just crazy. I can't get over it. And now here's an even better one, okay? The day, so we shot that, and usually when you shoot a magazine cover, it's like maybe 3, maybe 6 months until the cover is actually on in magazines, like in a shop, okay? And so I kind of forgot about it. And at the time, I was in New York with Linda, and we were having like, and it wasn't even a work trip. Like I did some YouTube and I did a meetup event, but it was mainly just us two having fun. And we were out for dinner. It was date night. It was like Saturday night in New York. So I'm in a great mood as it is. Yeah. And then I get a text from the editor like, hey, your magazine just dropped. Here's the cover. So it was my first time seeing it with all the text and everything. And someone sent me a picture of it in the shop.
Unbelievable.
And so that was one of the best days of my life.
I'd say so. That's one of those kind of things that you put down as like, that's your milestone achievement,
yes,
isn't it?
Seriously. And it's like, the fact that everything added on. I was in New York, I was on a date night, I was dressed up, looking sharp, and I was just like, got at dinner and I was like, getting a bottle of champagne to the table right now.
Running around showing all the people.
Look at me.
It's me.
Yeah, look at my abs. Love me. But and another funny thing is, like, you know, for example, what's going to improve your business more? Getting a super viral YouTube video or a magazine cover YouTube video any day of the week. But there's something to be said about getting on that old school print.
Yeah, there is.
It's just kind of nice. It's just kind of like...
It is.
It's just like... I was like, for once, my parents understand.
Yeah. There's something tangible. There's something you can hold and feel.
I'm like, Mom, YouTube video, 8 million views. She was like, I don't get it. Then I'm like, magazine cover. She's like, Jesus Christ, call Granny. He's made it. But so that was one of... The shooting off it was brilliant. But one of the best days of my life was when I saw it, when I got that random text that I wasn't expecting, and I saw it come to life.
It's almost like a text that, even though it actually hasn't made too much of a difference for your life going forward, but to you, how you appreciate yourself and view your, you know, how much work you've put in over the last few years, it's kind of like, oh, it's starting to pay off.
That was exactly it. Like, it didn't triple my income or it didn't like blow me up. It was just like a really nice moment for me.
Yeah, because I had a similar experience there only recently. I did a shoot and it was only meant to be a small shoot, and then it ended up on a billboard, and it's first billboard, and you stand there looking at it and you're like, I did that.
Nice.
You do.
How big is the billboard? Like,
it was big enough. It's somewhere in Dublin. It's somewhere over the south side in Dublin, but it's I got a couple of pictures of it sent to me and stuff like that because people knew I actually did that shoot.
Yeah, that's the nice feeling when people send it.
That's nice. That's great.
Recognition. Yeah,
that's it.
It's awesome.
So your next one, this is gone. You look very young in this now.
Oh man, I'm 8. I'm like, is this gonna go up on the side screen?
It is, yeah.
How did I shave today as well? I feel better.
So this is from the 25th of February 2016.
Okay.
Do you know the day?
25th of February. Okay. 2016. It was a great year, but I don't know February.
That was the post about when you started.
Oh my God. How did I not get a fresh fade that day?
Oh, listen, missed out.
Baby face. Oh, it's so funny even looking at like the logo and everything.
Yeah.
Like they've gotten rid of the wolf logo and the writing. Oh my God. I can't believe my arms are like the same size. I've not put an inch, and maybe a little bit. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, so that was a huge day for me as well. And that was the first like main sponsor that I ever really got. Like I would get sent stuff from brands, like just freebies and stuff. But I remember that's the first time I got put in a monthly salary, and it wasn't one of the biggest at the time. Now it is, so I'm glad I stuck with Alfleet always, and they've treated me so well. But that was the first proper sponsor I got.
Amazing. And I have to ask, what was that feeling like? 'Cause you said earlier on that one of your role models was Christian Guzman.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like when you got that message that, look, we'd love to sponsor you? And
crazy.
I'd say that's amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. So what happened there was I sent him a Snapchat of being like, I know, he was like, how did you even get my Snapchat? I got it off like a comment.
I think I had a Snapchat.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like C. Guzman or something.
Yeah.
So I sent him a picture of like my laptop with my channel open.
Yeah.
I was like, hey bro, I do YouTube too. And I had 10K subs at the time. I actually think 8K or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, he wrote back a video being like, oh, nice one, send me, email this. And he just put his email there. And then so I emailed him and I was like, oh, here's a link to my channel. If you ever want to connect, let me know. And then I saw Alfleet were doing a really small thing in the LA Fit Expo.
Right.
And so I paid my way out there, dropped everything, flew from Dublin to LA, used like everything in my bank account.
Stalking.
Just pure stalking. But just, I like the word putting myself in the right situation. I was like, he's going to be at this gym. And then so I met all the Alfleet people and we got along well. You know, I hope I didn't give off too much stalker vibes. And then so we got a workout in with everyone. It was awesome. And then about a month later, he said, hey, we're going to be taking on athletes. Would you like to be the first male athlete?
Unbelievable.
It's crazy. And I've been with them since 2016. So how long is that? Like,
don't ask me about maths today.
I'm like 6 my brain's fried. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's crazy. And like, I'm so glad that like, you know, I've been able to stick with them as well. It kind of, you know, it's good, shows good because it kind of looks good because there's a lot of people that will like, they'll start working with a brand and then they'll start working with another one. They'll hop around and every month they'll be like, this is the best gym wear. listen to that something, and then they change brand like, you know, every few months, so it doesn't show much integrity. But like, I legit, you know, love the company, and I've been offered every sponsorship as well, and I've turned them down for supplements and clothing. And so yeah, I'm really happy that I've stuck with them. It shows good integrity.
That's amazing. Because funny story, I actually went and met Christian. I would have seen yourself there as well in the NEC in Birmingham that same year.
So that was the year we started doing like expos and everything, and it was awesome. Brilliant. And that was like when the expos were in their best era. Like, because everyone was just kind of like, they only kind of got trendy then, and they were so much fun. Like, you know, you go, you meet loads of people, you have 10 shots of pre-workout, then you all go out afterwards, and we're like, fitness people don't usually, you know, drink and party, so everyone will go really hard, and they were just brilliant times. And then ever since I think, you know, the pandemic, lockdown, everything, events were cancelled. It's just, I don't think large scale events have been as popular since then in the fitness industry. So that was like a golden era of Body Power and all.
Yeah, that was the year that kind of fitness YouTubing really was at its peak. Like, so this next post is a much more recent post. The date's not on this one, but I will put it up. I'll get the date for you.
Yeah, I'll be able to tell probably.
Yeah, you definitely will. So this is about your villa.
Yes, that would be like probably about like 6 months ago.
Yeah, about that. So the reason I wanted to pull this up was to talk about diversifying your accounts. So obviously you were very fitness, which included food, travel, and
general
fitness,
lifestyle,
training. But then the whole house thing, because that's completely off the cards. That's completely like from left field, like makes no sense. That a fitness YouTuber has a Instagram page dedicated to building a house. Or renovating a villa, should we say. So how did that thought process to come out with, let's put this on social media? How did that come about?
So I always capitalize on everything. I'm always thinking, how can I get the most out of anything? So if I'm renovating a house, I'm doing a YouTube series on it. I'm doing an Instagram page on it. And it's been one of the best things I've ever done. First of all, I didn't think so much my audience would care about like property, but the page is better engagement than my own page. It's like the reels and everything on it gets so much views, and there's people, I'm just like looking through the people that follow it. There's loads who like follow it that don't follow me. So it's great, okay? And so my audience has been really interested in that. And at the end of the day, your audience grow up with you over time. So they want to see you, you know, buy a home. They want to see you have Rob Jr. kids. They want to see you grow up and go through life. Your audience grow with you. So even like my demographic when I was like 22, it was all like 18 to 21, and now it's like late 20s. It's like 25 to 30. So it's like those people, they grow with you.
Absolutely.
And so it's awesome. And so that went down really well. Even like on the Instagram went fantastic. And even on YouTube, the videos are really high views, you know, all the house videos. So that went really well, better than expected. And now there's so many people who are like, when can we get it on Airbnb? When can we rent it? And I'm like, I'm definitely going to do that. Like, I'm going to turn it into like a boutique hotel.
Absolutely.
Pretty much.
Because you still do an awful lot of traveling, don't you?
Yeah. And there's times where I'd be gone for a minimum a month, like at least a month. And like, I could even come back to Ireland for 3 months, rent that, and that's like its own business. And it's like, there's actually he's a travel Instagram guy, okay? And he bought a villa in Bali. And so he says it's pretty much a full-time business now. Like, he doesn't live there. And he made an Instagram for it. It's super nice. And he was like, oh, it's fully booked for the year, okay? And I went on to the Airbnb, his one, and it is fully booked for the year. And I added up how much it is per night, and I multiplied it by 365. He gets 350,000 pounds a year for that. Holy. So I'm like, I'm retired. That's a job. Like, that's how property developers do it.
That is it.
They buy 1, 2, or 3 properties and they just rent them or even sell them down the line.
It's definitely a rent. Rentees, landlords market.
Yeah, exactly. So that's something that I'll probably do, and it's kind of it's a nice safe feeling. And it was a great move, and I'm so glad and appreciative that my audience took kindly to it.
Absolutely.
That would be one of the kind of investments that I've made in the past couple of years.
Deadly. And I know about another investment. We will talk about that in a few minutes, because there's a couple of things that I want to touch on just before we get into what you're going to be doing in the future. I think we kind of touched on it there, but how has your approach to YouTube and social media changed? Do you remember we said earlier we'd talk about, like, is it even viable to start up a YouTube channel nowadays?
Yes.
So how has YouTube it's flooded with content now. It's extremely hard to stand out. You kind of have your OG YouTubers and stuff like that, and they'll always get the views and stuff like that. Like you often see when Christian Guzman took a break from YouTube and he was kind of disappeared for like 3 months. People were commenting on his old videos, being like, where is he? Is everything all right? What's going on? Like, so you do have that kind of that loyal following that won't leave. But for a person who wants to start on YouTube, is it viable in 2022 or 2023?
I still think it's the hottest platform. I still think it's the main one if you want to build a community, if you want to build a business or sell a product. If people watch, podcasts would probably actually be my second choice. Yeah. So if people watch your long form content, they watch a 20-minute video or they listen to a 1-hour podcast, they're pretty invested, and you can build up a lot more trust than a 10-second TikTok with like a weird song remix to it, you know? So you build up a community and a really loyal audience. So I still think YouTube is not only the most powerful platform, I can think of 2 other fitness YouTubers in Ireland who do it full time. Caroline O'Mahony and Glenn Gillen. Yeah. Can you think? I'd love to know some other ones. Maybe I'm like, haven't found them, but like, because I want to collaborate with them. Yeah. There's loads on TikTok now which are killing it, but I don't know. I know like 2 others, which is mind blowing in a country of millions of people, and it's an English-speaking country. That is bring Irish back. But like in terms of like, there's so many in the UK, there's so many in America, there's loads in Australia. I'm like, Ireland, it's like an untapped market for fitness YouTube in general, and other YouTubers. I know there's like huge gaming YouTubers, like Jack Skeptic guy. He's like one of the most, the highest in the world, and he's Irish. But in fitness in particular, I still think is a completely untapped market. Yeah. And like, I think there's like a lot of guys blown up on TikTok and fitness that should just like start uploading on YouTube. Yeah. Like, just do like little vlogs. And another one as well that I'm yet to start fully is YouTube Shorts. Yeah. So YouTube Shorts, I did not know this. I only found this out last week. Apparently, right, this is from the research I've done from trusted sources, that YouTube Shorts get more views than TikToks. Like it has more people looking at, because they had YouTube already. And there's more people watching YouTube Shorts than there is TikTok in terms of vertical content. So nowadays you can upload that, and I'm yet to go full all in on that and kind of repurpose my content. But so now that you've got Shorts, you've got those long form videos, and you physically get paid from them. Yeah. You don't get paid by any other platform. Yeah. So it's definitely not as much. And I think no, you don't really. Twitch is one that kind of, but
there's been a lot of scandals and stuff.
There's a lot of talk. Like it's something like to get like you have to get. I think it's like 65 million views on Instagram to get like $1,000 or something. So whereas that would be like 130 grand on YouTube if you get like 65 million views. Usually it's so much goes into it, but usually it's like $2,000 per million views. So if you have like, let's say 10 videos, you make 10 videos and they get 100,000 views, or you make 20 videos and they get 50,000 views, which is, very easy done. You're getting a couple of grand from that. So you don't have to get, people think, I have to get a video with 1 million views to get paid. No, all your little videos add up. Yeah. So it's very lucrative. And not to mention then you have all the traffic from YouTube driving into your coaching, your clothing and everything. So I still think YouTube is the most powerful if you want to build a community, build an audience and build a business.
Yeah, because that community following is probably, you notice it with a lot of brands and stuff like that as well. They'll build what's called a cult following. Yes. You see it with Supreme, which went huge because of their cult following. Their limited supply, their cult following. The cult following knew when everything was coming out, they'd buy it and it would always be sold out, and then it became this rare item. There's been a couple of other
example, And another one as well is like Gymshark and Athlete. Yeah. They do they have physical gyms that people, there's nothing more community than that, people working out together. And they have pop-up events and they have like expos and everything. And they have people that like they recognize and talk to and everything. And people that are like, your fitness advice changed my life. Like, so I think gym companies really are good at building community. Yeah. Then you've other ones like Supreme, of course, Represent have done it really well. That's a real, like, there's like hardcore cult following there. So I think if you want to blow up a brand, and my plan with Fuel Cakes now is to just make that a community, the Fuel Cakers, something. So that's how you really take your brand to the next level, is to build that community.
And speaking of Fuel Cakes, we were talking about investments. So you gave us great news today. Congratulations again. Thank you very much. So do you want to tell everyone what's going on with Fuel Cakes, because there is some changes coming?
Yes, so I'm yet to announce it properly, but someone that is arguably make the best fitness product Ireland's ever come out with, is working with me on the relaunch, the rebranding of Fuel Cakes. Tomorrow, the reason I'm back in Ireland this week is I'm going down to the factory, down the country.
Down the country?
Yeah, down the country, and checking it out and putting in the first order of the new launch. And so it was so good. The company turned over profit in the first week because we sold out. We bought stock and we sold it out. And it was being run out of the UK. There's Brexit. We still only made like the one product and the one flavor. So like for a brand that has like just the one product, we did seriously well in the first year. And then that's when I saw the potential of it. I was like, oh, this is more than merch. Like I'm actually going to give this a proper crack. So sometimes to do that, you got to take a step back and you're like, okay, I'm going to really go do this right. And so the last 6 months, we sold out our product, and then it took 6 months to get a new manufacturer, bring it over to Ireland, and just come up with some new products as well, some new flavors.
Amazing, and it makes sense. I know this is kind of getting a little bit more into the kind of e-com stuff, but it makes sense to produce things or even distribute from Ireland or Northern Ireland especially.
Oh yes, yeah.
So you could probably just send a truck straight up to Northern Ireland, distribution centre up there, and then you skip the whole Brexit thing.
Yeah, exactly. That was a nightmare. It was so funny. I was like, Brexit will never affect me. Yeah, I'm Irish. And it was just for shipping. It was absolute nightmare and customs and stuff. And not to mention, so one thing we forget about is Ireland has the best agriculture in the world.
Yeah.
It's got like the best grains, the best dairy, the best farms. Like I'm like, oh my God, it was right under my nose, right on my doorstep. So we, got chatting to this new manufacturer, and then it's just amazing, and quicker turnaround time, way better quality and a better price.
Yeah.
And I just can't wait to put that little Irish flag on the box.
Because a lot of people would avoid producing in Ireland because of costs. Obviously, you can get it done in foreign countries.
Yeah, people always just think, oh, I'll go to, for whatever, I'll go to China, Turkey, whatever. And it's like,
do a bit of research.
When you actually factor in shipping and customs and tax and all that, sometimes it's better to get it done closer to home. Absolutely,
but it's just about doing a bit of research, and you can touch on supporting your own in that as well. But if there's a cent in the difference in the price on a small scale for products and stuff like that, it's better off staying at home. You'll have less headaches as well going forward.
Yeah, exactly.
So you were saying there you saw someone else, you were kind of collaborating with someone else now on this project, and that's one thing I wanted to ask you was collaboration and how much it's helped your career, from whether it was collaborating on YouTube or social media, or when it came to the Fuel Cakes, anything that you've done, that you've collaborated with, how much of a difference does that collaboration make?
So you can never get far in life in any field, any aspect, from just doing everything on your own. Yeah. It doesn't work. Even, if I want to take my YouTube content next level, I need a videographer. I need an editor. If I want to get known in the American fitness industry, the best way to do that, I think I'm going to put billboards up of, when I've got no money, when I'm starting out on YouTube, being like, subscribe. No, the best thing to do is collab with American YouTubers in different places, collab with UK YouTubers, anything. You even see brands now doing, crossovers. Like, for example, Ghost collabed with Oreo to bring out an Oreo flavored protein.
It's like Balenciaga, Gap and Yeezy.
It's just the way for collaboration in any field, where at the high level or the low level, or even in small business level, even to videographers, like anything, just the way to get ahead is you need to collaborate. And instead of viewing it as you against the world, be like, hey, there's plenty of room at the top. Absolutely. We can do this together.
There is. And there's you'd be so surprised about people sharing ideas and tips and tricks and stuff like that. Share everything.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
no secrets.
No secrets. Yeah. Figure it out anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. So it's extremely important. Yeah,
absolutely. So I wanted to talk to you about America, because the American market is a difficult one for any business in Ireland to breach. You say you think you made it if you've done well in Ireland, you haven't. You think you made it if you've done well in the UK, you haven't. You have not made it until you've broke America. Yeah. So how was that kind of? You've broken into the American.
Yeah, all my sponsors are the biggest brands in America, and what really kind of was significant for me was I went into my YouTube and Instagram analytics and I saw my audience, and it was like 30% American. That's amazing. I'm like, that's a lot, like for an Irish channel. Now it's like 30% American, 30% Irish, 20% UK, and then rest of the world. Yeah. But so the one good thing, so I'm very proud of that, American audience, it's so nice that they've taken kindly to me in the industry. But for the small population of Ireland, 30% is sick as well. So that's still, it may say 30 America, 30 Ireland, that 30 in Ireland is super
so
concentrated.
much more.
It really means a lot to me. But no, it's so awesome that I was in Vegas last month. I'm going again with Athlete at the end of the year for the Olympia Expo, and yeah, it just really feels like I'm on like a worldwide adventure when you're going there. So it's awesome. And the fitness industry in America, Gold's Gym, Venice Beach, Alphaland, it's like really the American dream. And it's just like, it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he wanted to blow up in the fitness industry, he went to America. So that's super cool, and I'm so lucky to be able to work with these brands that are just like the biggest in America. It's wild to me, and it just seems like the American dream. It's nuts. Yeah,
because you look at Alphaland, and it's true what they say in America, everything is bigger.
Oh no, you want to see the size of it. It's massive, insane.
Is it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is something I will eventually, if I do a bit of a tour of America and travel around a bit, I would love to pop down.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. I remember I was in Tulum at the start of this year. And I was there for like 3 or 4 weeks.
I was a
partying too much. Not very fitnessy of me. And then so after that, I went to, the villa was getting renovated at the moment, so I couldn't know where to live, basically. That was another annoying thing about this year. If I was talking about a negative or bad part of this year, is I've been building a villa, which is, again, good part, amazing, so grateful. But I've been living out of a suitcase for the whole year. So that's led me to not, uploading to YouTube as much as I'd like to. So it led me to being more disorganized and not having an office space. Now that I've got that, I'm ready to kill it again. And of course, in the process, I've got a dream home out of it. But so I was like, after that Tulum trip, I was like, I have nothing to go home to, I might as well go to Alphaland for 2 weeks. And so I was partying way too much month before, went to Alphaland for 2 weeks, and we didn't even go out. I just went to the gym every day and worked on clients. I got an office space there, and ate the meal prep, and it's super healthy, and just lifted every day and recorded videos. And I'm like, it's like a center for fitness professionals. It's crazy. So I absolutely love that.
It's one of those things.
I regained some gains.
I like that. Regain some gains.
Exactly.
I have a broken wrist at the moment, and I was told yesterday I have another 4 months to go before I can get back into the gym. I'm going to Bali, which is in February, so that's kind of 4 months. So I will have to take up running. So
pretty much.
When I come back though, it'll be back on the gains.
There you go. Well, Bali, the fitness scene is huge there. Like all the MMA gyms, all the even really good bodybuilding gyms,
Thai and kickboxing gyms.
And like the food and everything is just quality, super fresh. And who are you going to Bali with?
I'm going with my missus. So we're going to do it a bit different. I think we're going to go for 3 days down in, what's the first place where Finn's Beach Club is?
Canggu, is it? Or
maybe.
Seminyak.
I think it is. So we'll spend 3 days in Seminyak just to get it out of the system. Then we're going up to Ubud for, kind of more the, I don't want to say spirituality. I wouldn't be a very spiritual person, but just to kind of experience a bit more of the culture and, the volcano sunrise hike and stuff like that.
Oh, it's meant to be sick.
I can't wait for that.
One of the best things I've found in life is, I think there's a few things that make me feel the best is one, changing someone's life and getting them into fitness, and for them to like message you and say thank you for that. That's some of the best feelings. Number 2 is making sales in your business. That's one of the best feelings, or signing a client in your case. Number 3 is traveling the world with a girl you love. They're probably the best 3 feelings I think I've ever experienced in my life. So you're gonna have a good time.
I can't wait for it. And that's one thing I said at the start of the year, or well, it was actually halfway through the year. I said to myself, I was like, I want to do more traveling. That's it. I spent an awful lot of time in Dublin, getting to the point where now I have my own studio and stuff like that, which is an amazing feeling. It's kind of like you said, it's like getting that cover. Do you know that kind of way? It's something tangible. It's something
like a setup, like a base.
Exactly. So I come in here, I stay here for, I'm here from 8-9 o'clock in the morning till 11 at night. It's not healthy. Wouldn't recommend it.
This is the only sunlight you have.
Man, this is giving me a tan. I tell you, I feel it's sizzling.
I'm going to wear a long sleeve.
Get the sun cream out. But so I said I was going to go traveling, and that's kind of one thing I wanted to ask you about, because you have traveled the world. Now, did you start traveling out of passion for traveling, or cause I know an awful lot of times, even personally, like I don't have that many followers on Instagram, but when I travel, my interactions go up, my story views go up. I don't know whether it's in the algorithm that you're now not in the same country, so they push you a bit more.
Interesting. Yeah, it's new. Yeah.
So did you travel? Did you really push on traveling to grow your channel, or like this is the very start now, to grow your channel, or just out of a passion and desire to go see the world?
To grow the channel at the beginning. So that first trip to LA that I told you about, I was like, I'm going to go and meet other people in the fitness industry. Because again, to grow my channel. And I also, when I was vlogging so much in Dublin in that shared accommodation, like people are used to just seeing the same walls every time. People see Raw Gym, the red equipment so much. I'm like, I need to try a new gym. I need to like eat at different restaurants, or I need to talk to new people on my channel to keep things interesting. So at the beginning it was just actually, of course it's a good time, but it was like to grow my channel and to, you know, provide some fresh content. And also you get more inspired when you're in somewhere new. Well, there's a caveat to that. So if you're constantly moving around, you'll be unorganized and a bit chaotic. But once in a while, like you said, you've been in here loads, a trip can really get that motivation and inspiration and creativity back. So to answer your question, I started off just, you know, to really travel just for content and stuff. And then I noticed also when I'm in new gyms and taking higher quality photos and videos, that you make more sales for fitness plans and everything. And you also do reach a new audience. It's funny, I get more American clients when I'm in America, because they're like, oh, this guy is, you know, close to home. You know what I mean? So I've got something to talk to him about. There's a bit of rapport there. But then of course I found a love for traveling when I had a bit of cash to my name and could actually go and enjoy myself a little bit. And so now I just love to travel. Like I love going to a new place. But I do also like when I go somewhere, like I'm like, I plan out what I'm gonna do, like pictures and videos I'm gonna take. Because I think a good way to be on social media is like, instead of like being like, I'm gonna take this photo or video to get likes or to get followers, I'm like, I'm gonna take it because it's cool. And I'm going to take it because like it's fun. Like before social media existed, photography and videography was a huge passion for everyone. It was like one of the biggest industries, it is one of the biggest industries in the world. So I think that if people want to actually make more genuine content, it's like enjoy actually making it. Instead of just thinking of what other people will think. Be like, I really enjoyed like taking these photos. And I say you as a videographer, photographer, you enjoy doing it, you know?
I love doing it. But I completely agree with you. Like there is times where I'll be shooting content for clients and I'm just doing it for the money. You're not doing it for the passion.
But that's got to be done sometimes.
It has to be done. You have to pay the bills. But you definitely then as you progress and you have a bit more cash, then like I've started doing a lot of test shoots with models, shooting in particular styles for brands that I'd look at their content coming out every year. I'd be going through their lookbooks. I'd be like, it sounds a bit fairy, but like I'd be going through, I'd be watching the London, Paris and Milan fashion weeks, and you'd be looking at some of the clothing that comes out there, because fashion is a big although I always wear all black.
Like this is I'm going into meetings in grey sweats, you know.
You get away with it, you're in fitness, man.
So quick side point, Joe, I've gone in some big corporate meetings I was thinking about this the other day. I've gone in some big corporate meetings in like stringers and like grey sweatpants, and it actually is like received quite well. They're like, oh, this guy's really about that life. They're like, this guy's actually, I'm like pumped just coming from the gym, and they're like, this guy actually loves.
He's always in character.
He's always in the gym, you know. This is it. So
and you're just like, it's comfy.
You gotta own it. It's like Alex Hormozy always wearing like, you know, the stringer, the white tank top and the jorts.
And Lex was the same, wasn't he, with the stringer, the Gymshark stringer with the old shark on it. Do you remember that kind of art animated looking shark?
Oh, it's gas.
They are very funny.
You were saying about how you're looking at Milan lookbook.
So I'd look at all these fashion places and I'd be looking at what kind of content they're producing, and now that I have the space, the time, well, not really the time at the moment, but now that I have the space and the funds, I can push my own shoots and start shooting for the content I actually want to create. And it's less about what anyone else is doing. I'm shooting for me. And I think it makes such a difference. The content I produce myself, by myself, like of my own accord and in the styles that I want, I look at that and I compare it to some client work that I've done. You know, sometimes I get a great client and we're able to be a bit creative and stuff like that. Like the lads Carpe Omni upstairs, they gave me creative reign on the first shoot that I did with them, and I was a little bit surprised at that because I'd never worked with them before. I was still quite unknown at that stage, but we shot against the concrete wall, and I said to them, look, let's do a hard light shoot against the concrete wall, and now we're going to be using that in a massive campaign coming up. Like,
sick. The famous concrete wall.
The famous concrete, that concrete wall does bits, man.
It does bits. It makes sales.
It makes sales.
Carrying the company on its back.
That is never going to be touched or moved. I remember when we were installing plugs and the electrician put the thing like 2 foot into the concrete wall. I was like, no, move.
Yeah, get it out.
It has to go. But yeah, shooting for yourself, it definitely makes all the difference. And it's shooting stuff that, like, if you look at an Instagram page, I'm sure you'll have it as well, where, especially when you're kind of growing, you want brands to reach out to you, but you want the right brands.
Yeah.
So you need to be sending out the right message, but also a message that lines up with yourself as well. Otherwise, you're not going to last with that brand.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you
when
need
you
to be a good representative of the company as well.
Yeah, you need to represent yourself well as well and show off what you're actually interested in. If you like, shooting all your content in black and white, shoot it in black and white.
Yeah.
If you like a certain style of photography or a certain, style of editing in YouTube, or if you prefer shorter form content, whatever, do that.
You can make it work. Yeah.
But when you were starting off with kind of approaching or getting brands to approach you and starting to create content for like brand deals, whether it was My Protein or I know you had stuff sent over by Gymshark it was Gymshark, wasn't it, in the earlier days?
Who was it? It was My Protein, and I was with Alfie from very early. It was like Machine Fitness was one of my first ever. They were OG. OG.
Jesus,
but there's a few brands I worked with.
Yeah. So when you were thinking about shooting content for them, was it in your mind to a massive extent that I have to make this look perfect and I have to get the branding in it and I have to do this and I have to do that? Where, like, I look at your content nowadays and it's a lot more relaxed.
Yeah, for sure.
Looks a lot more realistic and
so that's actually, it's interesting to say that, okay? And I've worked with some brands and they'll show me the contract and they'll be like, you have to post X amount of times per week or your contract is cancelled. Okay. And I'm automatically like, no, I'm not taking that. Whereas with Ghost and Alfleet, in my contract, they're like, post about it as you use it. Yeah. So I use a warehouse feed every day, and I will use Ghost every single day from the moment I wake up to during and after the gym and in the evening. So they don't ask me to post. They literally don't even ask me to post, but I end up posting for them every day because that's what I use. Yeah. But there's some brands that are like, you must do a feed post. Yeah, I don't like, I do post on stories every day for them. Like I don't do every day on feed, but there's some brands who are like, you must do 4x feed posts, 20 stories, and it's super regimented and super corporate. Yeah. And I'm like, no, this is just not true to myself. Yeah. So I would turn them down. But before you even think about sponsorships and brand deals and you're doing the whole online thing, don't even think about it for 4 years until you provide enough value to have enough leverage to be able to be like, to choose good brands. Yeah. Like so many people, they'll start off, they'll get some random skinny tea company, be like, hey, we'll send you out some free product for a post, and people get excited. Like, and they're like, yes, let's do it, even though they don't even like the brand. Yeah. Or they'll take like money and promote a product they don't like, which is, I think is the worst thing an online content creator can do, is take money for a brand you wouldn't recommend to friends or family. Yeah. So I'm so glad, hand on my heart, I've never done that. I've never had to do that either. Yeah. So I think that's number one when working with a brand is integrity. And also, if you are signing a contract with a brand, come to an agreement that it can't be like, there was one brand as well that, again, asked me to post 4 times a week. And I'm like, so I post 7 times a week. I'm like, you want over half the post to be about your brand. Yeah. instead of me. Yeah. I'm like, people might as well follow the company account. Yeah. So you gotta be strict. Some companies will try to take advantage of you.
Yeah. And especially as a younger creator, they'll jump on that and they'll be like, oh, he doesn't know. He's only new in the industry. Yeah. He's risen to, and you see it a lot with TikTok at the moment. Like
100%.
Yeah, you can see like in 3 months, someone can go from 0 to 300k followers, and
insane.
It's bonkers.
Yeah.
But I think we need to look at it differently. TikTok is not YouTube. It's not Instagram. Yeah. It's pushed. It's 10 second, 15 second videos, and you flick through and fly through it.
Yeah.
There's no like you look at how much time.
It's not like a podcast.
Yeah, where someone's gonna sit there for an hour and a half and listen to it. I couldn't believe the reaction I had off the first podcast, to be honest.
Oh, nice.
It actually went really, really well. I got a lot of DMs about it as well, and even some future guests.
Nice.
But future guests joined in. But like that, it's like you see TikTok and stuff, and people are scrolling through. They're not spending any time. So how much are people actually watching the content.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm not too sure about. Like, I still think TikTok is super powerful, and there's some really creative people on it, like doing some good stuff. And then there's like a lot of just like meaningless stuff on it.
Yeah.
So what you like, a lot of people get obsessed with the views on any platform, and they're less focused on the impact they're having and how much value. So like, I'd rather get like a low amount of views and be providing stuff that helps people a lot instead of getting loads of views of me twerking, you know? Like, I don't know how that's gonna help your fitness business or whatever. But so it's not just about views, likes, and subscribers or followers. It's kind of about what impact you're having on people as well.
Yeah, and that's talking about quality of content and stuff like that. Which does makes a massive difference. Like even for myself, I hate posting. I am so bad for posting on Instagram because I'm so critical of my posts, because it is my job to make good images. So you always think, oh, do I post that? But I think I need to get out of that mindset. And I'm sure you were like that at one stage as well.
Yeah.
You're so in your head about how good the quality of content is that you just don't post.
Exactly, yeah, and that's like paralysis by analysis.
Exactly.
You know, and you end up just second guessing yourself and doubting yourself, and you need to. People can actually tell online how confident you are in what you do. Yeah. So like when I'm like uploading loads, people are like they're magnetic towards that. Yeah. They're attracted to that. They're like, oh, even if the content isn't that good, they're like, oh, he's really just sure of himself, throwing stuff out there. I'm gonna watch this, you know? Yeah. So people can detect if you're like being confident with what you put out and how much you put out. Yeah. So I think people can smell it out online.
And they're like little sharks circling.
Yeah, seriously, you can smell it through the screen.
Yeah. The minute you make a mistake, that's it. Game over. Yeah. But I wanted to talk to you just before we kind of get close to wrapping up, as I'm sure we're close to it at the moment. When you shoot with, so I've watched an awful lot of, I used to be into fitness. I should probably say that. That's why I have Rob on the show. I used to be massively into fitness, and I followed Rob and I watched his channels, and we were even, we're close to working together a few years ago.
Yeah, and we have done some videos together as well, yeah.
But working with the likes of, because I watch the likes of Christian's productions with Nabil and stuff like that.
Yeah, Nabil's go.
Just next level.
Crazy.
Yeah. So what's it like working with kind of that creative team, and especially the team over in Alphalete where they have videographer and photographer on site they're just there. Yeah. And then you have all the other creators that kind of, I don't want to say hover around because that's not right to say, but they're all kind of on site
to bounce off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what is that kind of environment like?
Oh, it's very motivating and very refreshing. Like if you go to somewhere, you're with a bunch of like-minded people, you get like this burst in motivation that I think you need. Like I've been to Texas 3 times this year, like 3 separate trips, and I need it, you know. And then the 4th one will be in Vegas with the whole crew and end of year thing. And so that's why I it's so important to be surrounded by people on the same mission as you. Yeah. It is impossible to self-motivate yourself 365 days a year. Yeah. It's just, unless you're David Goggins, you know, you can't do it. Yeah. So putting yourself out there and going to the atmospheres, those places where you are just motivated by other individuals, it'll give you a huge boost. And it's like, you know, it's a relief.
But I'd say it can be a humbling experience as well. Like if I stood in a room next to Nabil, I'd probably just, my camera kind of scoots to the side a bit.
Yeah, humorous guy, still you don't have to worry about. Yeah,
what's he doing?
yeah, exactly.
But it would definitely be a humbling
experience. You can always learn a few tricks.
Absolutely. And I think being around other creators, especially in a job that you want to do, whether it's going and doing like an internship or just reaching out to people and be like, look, can I just come on set with you for a day? Most people don't mind. Like if someone asks me, can I come help you on a shoot? As long as you're reliable, absolutely. Because I could use all the help I can get. I have no problem with free help. But you'll learn something, 100%. I did it for months with Evan Doherty in his studio. Helped him out with loads of different shoots, and then I was able to branch out myself, which is great. But you learn an awful lot on set, and it's like that. You get those creative chats flowing, and then as soon as that flows, and that's kind of what this is all about. Yeah. Those creative chats, and as soon as that starts flowing, then you start thinking about all the ideas all the ideas of content you can make and posts you can take, and it definitely takes your content and your creative abilities up to the next level.
Yeah, I love Evan's studio.
Evan's,
by the way.
it's brilliant.
It's
He landed on his feet.
Oh man, the location and everything.
It's epic.
It's insane.
Man, even when you're kind of halfway through a shoot, if you just say if someone's, you know, redoing makeup or getting changed or whatever, you just end up people watching out the window.
Oh yeah.
So Evan's studio was on number 8 South Grade Georgia Street. It's called the 8 Space on Instagram. I'll put up the little thing in the video. But it's like a top floor of a Georgian building on Georgia Street, right across from the Georgia, and it's just you people watch, and you have DBS across the road as well. So you're seeing like just so much happening, like you're in the heart of it, and that was one thing I was raging about where our studio location is, because it's a little bit out of town, it's a little bit of a more industrial area, but we have parking.
Yeah. Oh well, that's a big one. That is a big one. So my car's been clamped too many times in the city centre.
Nearly towed out of the place, I'd say.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure we've covered everything that we said we were going to cover.
Do you think? Didn't touch the water.
The Coke Zero, man, it just does. If Coke want to sponsor me, just send me an email, please.
Yeah, there's actually a bit of caffeine in. Like a lot of people think like drink like Monsters and stuff. That's where you get caffeine from. There's actually a Coke Zero.
There's low. Because you need. There's like the caffeine free, which is the gold.
Yeah, you get them in Spain. That's what I drink in Marbella. It's constantly. Yeah, if I have any caffeine later in the day, I'm actually like my sleep is affected.
That's it, gone. So you train early in the morning then?
Yeah, usually at like not too early. Usually at like 10, 11. I'll wake up at like 6, 7. I'll do like some creative work. I'll get all my replies done for the day. Do some editing. Do all emails, and then don't really eat breakfast too much. Usually have a very light breakfast, like a shake or a bar. Today I had a shake and a bar. So, or even just a shake. So about 200, 300 calories for breakfast of mainly just protein. And then I'll go to the gym. And then, you know, afterwards I'll do whatever I have to do that day. But that's how my morning usually looks. But no caffeine after the gym session. After midday, usually,
You'd be sitting there rocking back and forth.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I have too much energy as it is. I'm staring at the ceiling.
So I was going to ask you, just before we wrap up, because I can't see the screen, tiny little thing, but I presume we are well over an hour.
Good.
Which is great, but I wanted to ask you about your field cakes. So is there anything else that you can tell us about field cakes? Like if it's when the product's going to be launching, or where it's going to be launching, it's going to be online. I don't think you've even mentioned what product it is yet, have you?
Yeah, so it's a protein pancake company.
Okay.
And so one of my first ever viral videos, could have been the first, you know, before even the calorie challenges or before any of the other ones, was how to make protein pancake video. It was like, you know, how to do it yourself. And so I think it's on over 1 million views or something. And so it became like a running thing on my channel to be like, I'd make it like, even when I'm competition prepping, I'd make protein pancakes or any full day of eating. And so like when I wouldn't include it in my vlogs, people were like, where are protein pancakes at? And so I was like, I need to like make a shortcut, a convenient way, because that's what business is. You're just making someone's life more convenient. A convenient way to make, you know, protein pancakes, because my audience loves it. And it's like with Max, he would always eat sour candy on his channel, so he made sour strips. Christian would always drink white monsters, so we made 3D. You know, once you've got an audience, focus on building the community and audience first, and then build a product around them. Instead of coming out with a product and being like, hey, everyone, buy it. Be like, no, get your customers first, and then come out with a product. So in 3 days, you can turn over a profit on the company. 98% of businesses fail, and it's like this is one of the reasons, you know. Or even more of them is they take 3 years to turn profit because they haven't acquired the customers or community yet. So do it backwards. That's what I did. But so it's a protein pancake company. 1950s package,ing really cool, retro, killer macros, nutrient dense. And so I launched that in 2020 in the UK because I was living there at the time, and now we sold out. Now I am making new flavors and bringing it over to Ireland, making good Irish, 100% Irish company.
Love it.
Yeah.
But do you think the Irish, that fact that there's an Irish, you know, made in Ireland sticker, that'll probably do really well?
Well, one thing that we do, like, we hate on each other, but we also do support each other.
We do support each other.
Yeah, seriously. Like, Irish people love Irish people.
It's gas. If two people from, it's gas, like when you leave the county, right? So if you leave Dublin two Dublin people who wouldn't speak in Dublin will become best mates.
Yeah.
And then when you leave the country, you can meet someone from Cork. You would never speak to them when you're in Ireland, but when you're away, you're Irish.
You're like, me and you are in this together.
Yeah,
but no, it's so like we give each other a slagging, but that's just part of Irish culture, you know, and we do all love each other. I think it's a very patriotic country.
Yeah.
And that's why whenever I came back yesterday, get a nice feeling just being here and just chatting away. So yeah, that's it. And so I'm going down, meet the new manufacturer tomorrow, put it in order, and hopefully, I think the turnaround manufacturing time is like 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, lovely.
So the plan is to have it out before the end of the year.
Jesus, so you'd be out for Christmas, out for New Year's.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, so it's a nice little stocking filler for people.
Great for those New Year's resolutions.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, so one of the things that I made is, because I was like, okay, so one of the things that I promote with dieting is that you need to eat something you love every single day, or you're just gonna fuck off your diet.
Yeah.
You're gonna say, screw this, I'm not doing this. And you need to eat something that's filling, stops you from cheating on your diet. Why do you eat too much? Because you're not satisfied and you're still hungry.
Yeah.
So there's actually some ingredients, the protein of course, and the fiber, but there's even some ingredients, all natural ingredients that stop you from getting hungry, and they're really filling. So if you're wanting it shredded from pancakes, you have some of these. They're very satisfying. I always eat mine in the evening. They're very satisfying. They give you something to look forward to, and they're very filling as well. So like you can have like small stack of 3 and you'll be very full. And so that was another motivation to make it is I want people to give people something that they can eat and enjoy while they're chasing their physique goals.
Yeah, because it is a difficult thing to do. I remember doing a cut years ago. I lost a serious amount of weight really quickly. It was 12 kilos in 8 weeks or something, like mental.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, that was intense.
Hardcore. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's nice, actually.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was,
Of course, it depends on your starting point and depends what you can sustain. Like there's so much factors that come into it. But typically what I recommend when working with a client is £1 a week.
Yeah. But I lost that very quickly. But again, then you end up putting it back on. But I remember those times, because of the mindset that I was in, I had no problem going without cravings. But as that mindset started to wear off and you're eating such low calories, the next thing you want is like, oh, fuck this.
Yeah.
You do, you almost get tick, like you're just, you get frustrated. You just start like, oh no, that's it, I'm having this. And you have a little nibble of like, say like a chocolate bar. You're like, I'll only have 1 square to kill the craving.
No.
That's it, the bar's gone, the diet's gone, you're fat in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then another one is like, people are like, if you drop your phone on the ground, like some people mess up on their diet, and then they go off on one. It's like, if you drop your phone on the ground, would you stamp on it a couple of times to finish it off? So that's like, it's funny that when people, they make a small mistake on their diet, they throw it away, even though it's not even a big deal.
It's like, I'll start again next week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So your typical mentality of a lot of people.
Yeah, but it's great to see now that you're really focusing in on the community and some of the needs of the fitness industry that haven't been there. And I suppose your time spent in the fitness industry has definitely given you a serious insight. And one thing I wanted to say as well is obviously having that community there, you're almost getting instant feedback on everything you're doing.
Yeah.
And everything that the community is struggling with regards to your social media channels, you're getting almost instant feedback.
Yeah. So
invaluable.
Yeah. So let me tell you this, right? Okay. You know, they like brands, like huge corporate brands, they're even handing out flyers like, can you take a survey for us to help us improve? I was talking to Christian and Max and I was like looking to get feedback and they're like, do an Instagram poll. They're like, that's the most accurate and instant. So I did a poll. I did a series of polls. I was like, guys, can you just take a minute? So again, I'll get like thousands of feedback within a day. I'll be like, how big do you want the pouch? Or do you care if it's a box or a pouch? Yeah. What flavors do you want? Yeah. And I'm like, well, boom, I literally just did all my market research in a day. Yeah. It's so powerful.
And it costs you nothing.
No, it's free. It's just crazy, and it's your actual audience.
Yeah, and to hit that level of, I'd sure you got hundreds of thousands, or at least 100,000 anyway, replying on those stories. Even to just get that interaction from a company, or like to pay someone to go and ask 100,000 people.
There's companies to do that. Like, exactly.
Hundreds of thousands just to get that stuff done.
It's quite accurate research. And even on the Villa page, I would put up like polls like, what color light switches should we use? Yeah. What should we do with this corner? And it was like really helped with decision making. Yeah. Like polls on Instagram are powerful.
They are very, very powerful, and people get passionate about it.
Yeah, seriously, people want to see the answer because until you vote, you can't see what people are answering. So it's funny.
And just lastly, with the house thing, is there any what's next for that kind of that channel? Are you going to do? Because I have a million of ideas running through my head from such a successful thing. Are you going to go with a how-to and talk about your experiences, or what's next for the series on the house?
Yeah, so I'll do the series finale when it's fully like off furniture and everything. I'll get probably hire a really good professional in Marbella, unless you want to come out as well. Help me with it.
No problem.
That would be ideal. Do a big series finale, and then so short-term, medium-term, long-term goals is short-term, live in it, have fun, throw some parties, do with all my clients, do like a private event in the villa, because a lot of Irish and UK clients, we all go out to Marbella for a weekend and we hit the gym, go out and stuff.
Amazing.
Medium term would be put it on Airbnb, make a business out of that, and then long term, if the market's good, I get a good price, you can sell it. But I'm really not thinking about that. That's like ultra long term.
That's
I
10,
love
15,
it.
20
10, 15 years exactly. But maybe not even. Maybe I'd like to give it to my kids and stuff. You know. So we'll see. But yeah, that's the plan with that.
Daily. Well, listen, Rob, thank you very, very much for coming in today. Best of luck with the villa. Best of luck with the field cakes. I can't wait to try them. You have to say no.
Oh no, dude, you're going to be stocked in the studio. You're going to be right there.
Yeah, we'll replace all the cans that are over there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, perfect.
But again, thanks a million, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.